so mad there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it bad, I
looking
don't
at
know.
the
My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here
professional
goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough.
I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad. Shut up. Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waugh.
Yeah! Let me talk to you! War game.
Salute everyone. Welcome to the Hill of the Ring podcast here with Joe's BX for Jedi Kev. Salute to everyone that watches here. We're going to talk WWE wrestling, the week of the wrestling world. Let's get right into it. The elephant in the room, the one and only CM Punk has returned. If you're living under a rock, like MJF says, you are not aware that he has returned to the company. Mr. Phil Brooks last week here, we did the watch along, and to see him return in Chicago, I mean, it caught everyone by surprise, including, I kind of had an idea with it, but I mean, the surprise of when they brought him out. When we're doing the watch along here on the channel, all of a sudden the trademark comes up, and we're like, oh man, it's gonna end. And the pay-per-view was phenomenal. I want to give you my thoughts. Thank you, Chris. Salute to Chris who's joining us in the chat. I thought the pay-per-view of the Survivor Series War Games was phenomenal. I think the opening contest with all four Damage Control, with the four ladies, they stole pretty much the show there. What a way to open it up. The whole card was a very good card from the Walter, aka Gunther match with The Miz. Told the story. Miz wants another shot, and we'll get into it as we go along here. Just to give you a recap of Survivor Series, Randy Orton looked like in phenomenal shape coming in there. That story they told us in there with the men's War Games was another good War Games matchup. It was phenomenal, and I really enjoyed that card. And then when Punk comes out, it was like the caveat. You add cherries with not just the cherries, but extra sprinkles on the Sunday that was War Games. If you were excited to see, and then all attention was for Monday Night Raw. What's going to happen on Monday Night Raw? What's going to be set up storyline wise? What is CM Punk's mission statement is on his return to the WWE? But then we get Monday Night Raw, which kicks off with Randy Orton, and I know a lot of people were agreeing or disagreeing if Randy Orton's return to the War Games was outstaged by a CM Punk returning. And I had that good debate there on Weekend Reactions on the PUWF podcast there. Shout out to Mr. Alex Cofito and friends there. I was with Mystic Nation, with D-Rod, Dennis, and the other two gentlemen, that I forgot your names, that I'm learning them as well. But we all were there. Check that out on Weekend Reaction. I want to give them a plug. They do the PUWF podcast is for the unappreciative wrestling fans. So I wanted to give them a shout out. And they hosted that program and invited myself to go on, and we talked about the CM Punk return. And I thought that Randy Orton was not outstaged by CM Punk, because Randy Orton did get his big pop in the War Games. He got that super RKO off of JD McDonough from the top rope. That was phenomenal. You all seen the videos, and you all seen it. None of this is new. Just to get to where my point was, then Punk comes out. Well, how did he lose not face? Because the next night on Monday Night Raw, you open up Monday Night Raw with Randy Orton. You brought us in. Remember, you're remembering Randy Orton first coming out, reminding us that he was out for almost a year and some change, a year and a half, close to 18 months, due to the hand of the bloodline. He wants revenge on the bloodline. He wants to get his hands on the bloodline. So they're setting up a storyline where bloodline now, or at least the half part that is with the tribal chief, they're on SmackDown. It's teasing for later on in the week when we get to it as we evolve during the show. What happened with Randy Orton? Jey Uso is in on Raw. You see them kind of mending fences, but you never trust a Viper. Snake. So I like the opening promo from Randy Orton. I think him coming back and showing us that he's looking. His mission statement is he wants revenge for putting him out of action, getting back surgery on the hands of the bloodline. So that's set up there. And by the way, I love that WWE, what they do after this premium live event, one of the big majors, they give you 1 hour of commercial free, although you could argue it was 55 minutes. But here and take, hey, commercial free, no Pizza Hut commercials, none of that progressive nonsense. It was just straight up programming. It also gave us the recap, of course, of Survivor Series. Then Randy Orton cuts his promo. Then you get to the meltdown appears with the mini tournament or the tag team turmoil with the men's. It goes off really good. You know what? I know a lot of people complain that WWE doesn't emphasize their tag team or they don't like their tag team and yada yada yada. That stereotype stigma that they got, but they're trying here. This is a 3-hour show that they have to give us content. Now you got about 6 days to 7 weeks before the next premium live event, which is the Royal Rumble. You got to give us some storylines, some filler. Although I would have loved them to drag a little bit more of this tag team turmoil for number one contendership. But hey, at the end of the day, it was tonight that we were going to determine the number one contender for the moment. Then we have DIY starts off against Alpha Academy. I like that they kind of separated Chad Gable out of the tag team. And it was a Sasawa and Otis. We saw DIY eliminates Alpha Academy. Then Indashir comes out, which I was surprised to see DIY come out. And they eliminated Indashir. Then the Creed brothers, come out and they eliminate DIY. And then you have the Creed versus the New Day. Now that was fun. New Day, who they are. They're one of the most established tag team in WWE history with the title runs. The Creed brothers, they're pushing them here. Coming up, I've personally seen them in NXT, grow. And I am a fan of the Creed brothers. Everyone knows how much of a huge fan I am. I like Brutus and Julius Creed, the way they work ethic, even when they were Roderick Strong coming up. Seeing how raw they were, and now how comfortable they are with Ivy Niles in the main roster. She works as well. I was more concerned with her when they called them up. I thought she didn't have that charisma to kick it into another gear, but I am very excited and very well impressed. Ivy Niles, phenomenal. I mean, I take my hats off to see you in the main roster. Her and Maxine, they're killing it. I personally am invested to see. I want to see what's more for Ivy Niles. I wasn't a big fan of her in NXT, and I saw they try to give her a push. Then they put her to level up. Then they brought her back a little bit back, and there was nothing really there. Wasn't a viable women's champion picture. She wasn't in that fold with Mandy Rose, and I just couldn't get invested in her in NXT. I think the best move was to bring her up with the Creed brothers, and she looks phenomenal. So we get back there where it's the Creed brothers with the last tag team is Imperium. Now, WWE or Creative Storyline is teasing an Imperium shakeup or departure or a ripple within the group with Giovanni and Ludwig. I don't know if they're trying to set up Ludwig in Berlin versus Gunther. I don't know if Gunther is going to hold on, how long that title run for the Intercontinental title is going to be dragged on. Maybe Ludwig is the next Intercontinental champion and drops it in Germany to Gunther. I don't know. I don't know the direction where the WWE plans to go with the Intercontinental title, but it's fun. I personally am not a fan of of course, everyone knows I like Gunther. I'm a big fan of him as well. I wouldn't want to see Imperium split. I like them when they're all together as a group, strength in numbers. I always go back to this reference point as a wrestling fan. You don't have to break every group or facet in the WWE with dissension and going against each other and possibly. I understand that it has to happen at time to time when it gets stale, and maybe that's the matches within the same group is kind of fascinating. But I always go back to the New Day. Biggie had his own successful individual title run. Kofi Mania, and they all didn't split from the New Day. King Xavier Woods had a run, and they always came back and became a tag team, always united, Three Musketeer, one for all, one for one. Maybe they're the only ones that can make it work or make it believable. I don't know, but you don't need to break Imperium. That's my main point of all this. As I move on, I like to see the Creed brothers the way they won this tag title match and become the number one contenders. And I even like the promo where you see Finn Balor tell Priest, "You check out these Creed boys. They're a problem. They're impressive." Giving that seed, if Judgment Day isn't focused on the big task at hand, and salute the big task at hand who watches along with us on the Knicks broadcast. So I wanted to shout him out as well. Get him over. Even in wrestling, they could slip on the banana peel. Classic slip on the banana peel, and we could crown a new tag team champion and move the tag team championship different, fresh blood, new blood for a while to see and maybe split the tag team titles. Who knows what direction creative? Something different that we didn't see coming. Remember, WWE likes to give us the oohs, the ahs, and the unpredictability, and that's what's making this under Paul Levesque booking or a direction of creativity so unique from what Vince was. Everyone knew kind of much what Vince's hand was, which way he's leaning towards, which creative way, who's going to get the push, who's not. You could see him telegraphing moves, although it still made money because they haven't been successful for over 50 years if it didn't work. But I understand some people say it gets a little antiquated or boring or whatever words you want to use. I like that Triple H is giving us something totally different and is showing us a new WWE or different creative, but you don't know what's going on. So it keeps you one step ahead of the dirt sheets. If this continues to happen, the dirt sheets, the Meltzers, the Baba Booies, and the JD from his mother's basement could be out of business. With all the fake nonsense that they put out there. So you never know what's going to happen with the WWE unpredictability. I love it. And then, okay, so we get on here. I thought that match was good. I want to see the Creed brothers go on there. We saw a little bit of notes. I'm not going to go too much with it. We saw R-Truth return. We saw him return first and foremost at the Survivor Series with that commercial with the chips and dips or the crips. We saw him on Monday Night Raw with Jelly Roll. Thought Jelly Roll wasn't a country singer. Actually thought it was Jelly Roll. Later we see him in the locker room with getting the Judgment Day's dressing room a mess full of Jelly Rolls. Almost got beat up. I like seeing R-Truth. Glad he's returned. Fully healed. I was there that night when he went for the failed moonsault and got injured against Grayson Waller on that live taping NXT. I was in the building to see Truth. The energy he brought, everybody was excited to see R-Truth in action. I knew, even though we knew that Grayson Waller was going over, but just to see him, that nostalgia, to be part of the crowd, to be part of the sing along, and then he gets injured was deflating. Good to see Truth back personally. It was great to see that there. And I'm enjoying this. The next match here was one of my favorite, was Ivar versus Big Brunson. Me being a big man myself, seeing those two behemoths in there going at it with the moonsault. I know everyone with the double disqualification, no contest, pretty much. I loved it because now they could run it back, and we want more. I want to kind of see a stipulation match between these two. Either a last man standing, something where not a Viking rules match. You got to give that a little bit of a rest because it doesn't really resonate too well. I want to see something different between these two behemoths. Ivar, one of his best thing in this 2023, and I hate to say it, was the injury to Eric. Eric, get well soon, get back in the ring, Viking Raider, but this allowed your partner to take the minute to take the ball and just ascend and become a really good worker. His matches, with Kingston, with Brunson, his in-ring has gotten so much greater, or the opportunities that he's been given, he has taken the most of it. You got to give Ivar a huge push, well-deserved, earned, because he worked his ass off. And Brunson Reed, I am a huge fan of Big Brunson Reed. I mean, this guy with the agility and at his weight, the way he moves in the ring, my goodness, he makes some of these guys. And again, it's not a tribalism thing, but he makes guys. The way he moves in the ring and his weight makes. I rather watch his match, big strong, than a Barquinho match. So Barquinho, all it is tricks and carny moves. I had to say it. I'm sorry about that, but I had to say it. Okay, we saw Nakamura cutting a promo. Who he wants. We finally figured out who he was targeting was Cody Rhodes. He wanted a piece of Cody Rhodes. He missed Cody Rhodes in the face. He got him. Now we set up, now Cody has a program. It could go into Royal Rumble. It could even go into Elimination Chamber, where it's not enough. And now that gives you something where Cody can now get, have something to do and not say, when is it inevitable when he's going to get back to Roman? You got some filler for the next few weeks trying to chase Nakamura. Nakamura doing the classic heel runaway, or, you know what, I got to go in Japan. You got to wait. And I love it because you could buy some time, right? And I think those matches between these two guys with Cody and Nakamura are going to be phenomenal. We got a women's match, Nia Jax versus Zoe Stark. This one kind of had me head scratched. I know there's a lot of people on the internet cannot stand Nia Jax. Not a big fan. I'm a fan of Zoe Stark, watching, of course, going to NXT, seeing Zoe Stark. Had that match with Rhea Ripley. We all knew Rhea Ripley was going over. I kind of wanted to see Zoe Stark continue her momentum and her heat. Not her heat, but her momentum. I know she lost, but to still get over without going over. To see her lose to Nia Jax had me head scratching. I'm a fan of Nia Jax too, because I thought the poor woman of choice was put here with Zoe. I think I would have liked to then Zoe Stark to win, but then I didn't want to, who you put Nikki Cross to her to squash her. Natalia's in a tag team situation right now. I guess Nia was the right one to tag here, but I was surprised at the outcome for Nia. I guess they're going to tease now it's Nia's turn to take a shot at Rhea Ripley now, maybe setting it up or building for the Rumble to see those two ladies there. I kind of want to see now what's going on with Raquel Rodriguez, maybe Raquel and Zoe. It's interesting to see what's going to happen, or they're going to announce who's the Women's Royal Rumble. We still got time to filter it. Who will be the first entry in that Women's Royal Rumble, if there is there, and it'll be interesting to see that, in my opinion. And then speaking of Natalya, because she had a match later on for the women's tag team title, her and against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. I wonder how you guys think of Natalya and Tegan Knox as a tag team. I know people complain and say that the women's tag team division is totally garbage or trash. The internet is very cruel and harsh with the way they describe the women's tag team. I think there's not enough emphasis or creativity, or WWE is afraid of putting time into it because they're so hot and so entertaining right now. They're afraid of changing a little bit and trying to give us a women's tag team division, and worried about collapsing numbers or declining numbers or viewership. That's just my opinion. I think they're afraid of losing a little steam of momentum. Sometimes you might have to take a step back to take leaps forward. Why I say that? Because I think if you build this women's tag team division, there's enough mid-card women to make it a really good tag team division, because let's face it, the women's title is top heavy. Right now, they're extremely top heavy, and for ladies like a Tegan Knox, even Chelsea Green, and now there's rumors of Tiffany Stratton being elevated to Raw. There's no room for the top. You don't even have Jade Cargill, who hasn't wrestled a match yet. She's already main event status without even wrestling a match. You got now Bayley. You have Io Sky. You've got Bianca. You have Charlotte. You have Becky. They're top heavy. You need something. If you're not going to make, and I've been a proponent of making a women's mid-card title, which they really desperately need, they need to emphasize the women's tag team. How you do that? You have Candice LeRae and Hindi Artwell. Make them dress alike. Make these ladies that are not going to be in the singles or they're going to make your tag team division, have the same matching gears. Try to get introduction music that will match together. Oh, there comes Indy and Candice. Here comes so and so, Natalia and Tegan. Here comes so and so. I think if you do those little tweaks and those little nuance, I know it's going to take time. Maybe you put a couple of women's tag team matches on main event. You have Kaden and Katana, hell of a tag team in NXT, and you could build on that. Ivy Nels and Maxine Dupree. Now you could make them part of Alpha Academy, Alpha Creed. You could mash them, have them dress alike, and do all these different She's already doing the danky mannerisms. Ivy Nels, mash them together, make them look like a team together. One thing that's why they call uniforms in sports, because they unify your team. You like a certain team. If you're a Cowboy fan, you know that classic star. Their uniforms. If you're, you know what I mean. They need to emphasize that more when it comes to the women's tag team. Maybe we give a crap more about it. So I like the fact that Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are still women's tag team champions. I don't know how long that's going to last. I love Chelsea Green on the microphone, on mannerisms, all her different things. She's a star, but let's face it, everybody wants to see eventually Chelsea Green teaming up with Diana Purrazzo. And I don't know if the WWE has room on that. We saw Dominic Mysterio versus Randy Orton in his first match. Of course, we see Randy Orton does get the victory, defeats Dominic Mysterio in a good, solid match there. And then we get the CM Punk promo at the end. Everyone thinks it was watered down. It was PC Punk. Everybody, I thought it was just to the point. Remember, Triple H was not in attendance with Nick Khan. They were negotiating their TV deals with Warner Brothers executives in Los Angeles. Not Warner Brothers, with they're one of the front runners, by the way. With the TV executives, they met with so many different TV rights for Monday Night Raw. They were not there. Our old friend, Mr. Pritchard, Brother Love, was in charge of Monday Night Raw, and they gave Punk 9 minutes. I think everything was kind of vanilla or safe. Right? I heard Bully Ray Dudley say safe on Busted Open. And that's true. It was safe, but it was the truth. I don't know why he didn't like that, because he always talks about what's good for business. When Punk says, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. I understand. He says, well, people were happy to see me. Well, you have, and I know he was kind of making it contradictory. I don't know if he was clickbaiting or gaslighting the radio audience, but he kind of contradicted himself. Isn't that you go to wrestle to make money? You put aside differences. Like they always said, Bucks and Omega should have done business with Punk. Well, Punk is there to make business, and his business is to make money. He's there to wrestle to make money, and at the same time, he's going to help bury the AEW, because him being on TV and him just showing up on Survivor Series has 71 million views. Talk about needle mover. That's a needle mover. Just the first night, him coming out, just standing there, put his hand on a watch, that's a needle mover. That's what you want. That's what WWE is looking for. Now, I know everyone's going bananas about the Seth Rollins with the middle finger and yada, yada. That's part of the program. They know that Seth said some comments about a year ago, roughly close to a year ago, about stay away, Phil, you're a cancer, we don't want you. And there was no talk to him coming to WWE. You know what? Guaranteed when they signed CM Punk, that was talked with Rollins. That's a big money match if they do it at WrestleMania 40. Talk about people anticipating and wants to see that. That's talking about here for money, not for friends. That's what he means. He's here to make big business money. Immediately he is the number one merchandise T-shirt in the WWE. Where LA Knight was on fire, and here comes Punk. 24 hours or 12 from Monday Night Raw, and that was the number one selling T-shirt immediately. That's needle mover. That's star power. That's making money. That's how you make money in this business, and that's how you keep salaries going and the venues and etc. That's how you multiply money, and that's what CM Punk did. Good to see that there. It's great. Now we're going to see what happens now. We haven't had a definitive brand that he's on, and we haven't had a definitive feud for CM Punk. Only time will tell. He mentioned Heyman, everyone's going crazy. A wise man, but a wise man could be Heyman, it could be Vince McMahon. Tell him to go away and reestablish himself and come back. Or go away and get over it by returning back. It could have been Vince. It could have not happened to been, although it sounds more like Heyman, but but it could like the same. It looked like that was the same kind of advice was given to Cody Rhodes. Cody went away, reinvented himself on the Indies. We know Cody's story now. He's returned. Maybe he's going after Cody. Only time will tell. We will know. We will not. We will know with time. We'll go into NXT. I'm trying to go a little rapid fire, so like that we don't be too long on this stream. We had the tag team turmoil. Angel and Humberto taking on Tony D'Angelo and the family. We see that they retained the title. I don't know what they're doing with Humberto and Angel. I want to believe in them, but they still have the stigma of jobbers. I hate to say it, guys. I like their part. I think they were good, but when I think of them, I'm starting to think of enhancement talent, jobbing, not getting over. When have I seen them have 2 wins in a row when it comes for Humberto and Angel? I don't know. There's a lot of talks that he might be part of Legado Fantasma with Santo Escobar. Only time will tell. But then they really got to start winning some matches if you're going to put them back, because all you're doing is rinsing and repeating the LWO situation along with Humberto and Humberto along with Santo Escobar. I don't know what happened there with that. We saw that Jerry the King Lawler, by the way, put some qualifier matches. He likes Kiana Jordan, and Kalani Jordan. They went at it, so a bunch of Kianas there. That was a good match there. We saw Roxanne Perez interfere. Jordan defeats James and qualifies for the Iron Survivor. We're setting up a feud between Roxanne and Kiana James. Listen, these two ladies, Roxanne, wrestling-wise, is ready for Smackdown. Kiana, heel-wise and promo-wise, is ready for the main roster. I think Kiana needs a little more wrestling seasoning. I think Roxy needs a little more microphone or promo seasoning to be in the main roster. But again, we go back to that same thing I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, was about they're not, the women's division is top heavy, but the lower end ladies, I don't want to come out there and have them job or go into circles and not doing nothing and be called up to the main roster to do nothing, and then 8 months later they're released. While they could just stay in NXT, draw money, help them grow the TV brand and help the other lady wrestlers elevate, but then after a while they get stagnant and stay with the storyline. And I know they like to keep everything fresh in the NXT. That's a good thing to have. You might have a lot of good develop women's talent, but they got to know how to find time and utilize it with that. So we need the Iron Survivor. We know that Jordan will survive. Another name that Lawler picked here, which it was good to see, Breaker versus Eddie Thorpe. Everyone knows I'm a huge Breaker fan. A big Breaker mark. He beats Eddie Thorpe. Braun going to the Iron Survivor Challenge. One thing we saw, Nikita Lyons return on Tuesday night in the crowd. By the way, as we record this video on a Saturday, the second day of December, she did wrestle her first back in-ring match. Breaking news in Tampa, NXT Tampa. Nikita Lyons has returned to the ring. So Nikita Lyons, you probably will see her back in the ring maybe this Tuesday to confront Blair Davenport, and maybe in the at deadline we get Nikita Lyons versus Blair Davenport. Maybe she gets her revenge. The Lions, who knows? We'll see. We'll see if they're going to go into that feud or they're going to save it for New Year's Evil. We'll see, because they have to build that there for NXT. We see the investigation by Andre Chase. We finally get revealed some gambling acquisition of funding, misfunding of Chase University. We're going to see where that storyline heads to. Ilya Dragunov backstage with Nathan Frazier, a little bit hot under the collar. Ilya giving you some heel vibes against Nathan Frazier, and leads to a match where Ilya just crumbles and beats the living crap out of Nathan Frazier, although trying to give him a little bit of sign of respect at the end of the match. Remember, Nathan Frazier, keep an eye on him this coming year, 2024, if you're listening here. Nathan Frazier's a pupil of Seth freaking Rollins. protege, and look for Nathan to have a huge 2024 in NXT. I think the push is coming for Nathan Frazier. I won't be surprised that the North American title run, if and when Dominic drops the title. I don't know if he'll drop it to Nathan, but I think Nathan will get it on Stand and Deliver. And by the end of the year's time next year, he might be in the world title picture, where he possibly could be winning this world title at if they do deadline again next year. I'm going out on a limb. I think Nathan Frazier is having a big 2024 year for NXT. He just got a lot of Seth freaking Rollins vibes. The way he just moves, and he's of course taught by one of the best in the game. He takes that pinfall there. Adriana Gase versus Carmen Petrovic. Adriana, what character development we've seen her from last year to now. Of course, she is the beauty queen of NXT. That gimmick suits her. You could tell Apple doesn't fall far from the tree from Santino Morella's daughter. Very good in ring too, getting better in the ring week in, week out. We saw Joe Gacy off the hinge though, stole the ring announcer bell, went in the crowd. He's off the hinge. He's kind of losing it. Looks like a little Wolfman, scruffy for Mr. Joe Gacy. I mean, Petrovic planted her with a fireman's carry. Although she took the loss, Petrovic is another lady who's going to have a good year next year for her gimmick. We'll see what happens there. Pretty good match there. We find out that Lexi King was the culprit behind the Trick Williams getting attacked. So what's the thought on that? Everyone thought it was Carmelo Hayes. I still think there's going to be a swerve there where we think it's Alexi King, but it was always Melo. I think they're still going to revisit that. But Alexi King in a match with Brooke Jensen, that's a different one there. I think Brooke Jensen, it looks like Josh Briggs and Jensen look like they're going to split in the upcoming, maybe for like around Vengeance Day or Stand and Deliver. We'll probably see them in the ring one-on-one with each other to see on those two behemoths there, see what happens there. For them, they need to take the next step level. They've been there in NXT for a while. Personally, I wouldn't want to see them break up. I would like them to get better as a tag team, and that's a tag team that you want to elevate to the main roster. You know, you got Pretty Deadly, you know, some of the NXT tag teams, and we'll go back to the emphasis of the tag team in a moment. And the number one contenders match, this one was phenomenal. This was premium live event worthy. What a number one contenders fatal four-way. You got the former North American champions, past and present. You got past present from Wesley, Johnny Gargano, Brunson Reed, and Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes reminds you that he was a big deal in NXT as well as Johnny Gargano. And you're like, damn, why isn't that resonating in the main roster? I don't know what it is. If it's maybe the environment, maybe the building is, maybe the lights are too big for these guys, but they put on a show in NXT for the crowd here in the Performance Center. Of course, you saw Ivar interfere and attack Brunson Reed, knocked him out of the match pretty much, but you get Wesley coming out with a victory in a hell of a match there. Wesley will take on now Dominic Mysterio at Deadline. You know me, if you watched me before on different watch-alongs or anytime I talk to wrestling on the Heel of the Ring podcast, I always told you Wesley needs to take that title away from Don. It's going to happen on a premium live event. Great, phenomenal. People are going to watch. I said, you know what? They need to watch it. I said either a Royal Monday Night Raw or a Smackdown on a premium live TV where the world could see who is this Wesley wrestler. I've been singing Wesley's praises and flowers for a long time. Yes, is he a little undersized? But Wesley checks the boxes. He is a happy-go-lucky. He's a happy babyface. He could go in the ring, wrestler. His backstory phenomenal. He checks the boxes as a babyface that you could bring up and see him rise as a mid-card babyface to be world champion once he keeps evolving and you don't have to rush him to the main event picture. You could bring him up, and my God, Wesley to have a wonderful WWE career like a Kofi Kingston or even a little more greater. That's how much I am high on Wesley. He is phenomenal. I'm telling you, and I need the world to see who is this Wesley. When he be called to the main roster, they're like, who is this guy? Who? What? I don't know. No, you go out there, let them have that. Like the same way we're being introduced with a Dragon Lee, they need to. And it's funny, they're both Lee. That's the way they need to show us and present us who is Wes Lee, because I think he sells money. Talk about in a world where the heels go over, you need a baby face like a Wes Lee. He checks the boxes. I mean, talk about your next babyface level where a Cody, Wesley, that type of level. You have to check out his work in NXT. You could take my word for it, but you know what? Your eyes and your ears will not deceive you when I tell you. Take the time and check out Wesley. I recommend it. I actually think Wesley as a babyface resonates higher and greater than a Carmelo Hayes. That's as a babyface. I'm not saying Carmelo Hayes is a heel. Because he is quick and witty. But that's how much I take Wesley a little higher as a babyface. All right, so that is the NXT show. We'll talk about Smackdown that happened. Smackdown, of course, was from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn in the house. Salute to everyone that was out there. They had a couple of friends there. Mauro and his son was there. He took his son there. Mauro was a former apprentice of mine at work. He likes to watch the Heel the Ring as well. I wanted to give him a solid shout out for him. We got undisputed tag team Finn and Priest taking on the Street Profits. My goodness, we had a lot of good stuff there. Oh, that's from Brooklyn, New York. First and foremost, I'm glad that Randy Orton chose SmackDown and went to the Blue brand, because again, now you have Punk. Although Punk was being announced going to SmackDown next week, next Friday coming up. Want to see what's his mission statement on SmackDown. Why is he in SmackDown? According to WWE Insights, the internals puts that CM Punk is going to be a free agent. When I mean a free agent, he could go to both brands and go here, go there. Similar to the way Von Wagner was supposed to be a free agent. You had Brock was a free agent, so forth like that. No affiliated brand. But although I think they're going to try to do that same gimmick that we saw on Friday with Pierce and Nick Aldis. And by the way, Nick Aldis taking his first WWE bump, taking that RKO by Randy Orton at the end of SmackDown. Great job there. He sold it phenomenal. I enjoyed that there. And of course, we've seen Kairi Singh having a match in SmackDown, I think in over 3 years, taking on Bianca. Bianca gets the victory, but the story is here with Bayley being kind of like outcast or pushed to the side from Damage Control, although the internet video shows when she goes back to the locker room, Kairi Singh and her kind of like puts her arm around and walks away. But they're teasing a lot of eventually that Bayley's going to be kicked out, similar to the way Judgment Day removed Edge. Now, a lot of stuff are going, it allows me now to go into some rumors and stuff. Not going to go too much into SmackDown. The rumors has it, couple rumors. Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks, is being rumored, teased, a lot of encrypted notes or encrypted teases. She is returning to the WWE. I know Terrence, who watches along with us and is part of the Heel the Ring podcast, says until he's there, he's not going to believe it. Like the way Punk with the rumors and the little teases and the Easter egg, he's going to hold reserve. I kind of want to think the same a little bit with him, but it's getting a lot of traction, a lot of steam. You know, even for Mercedes, Bayley, I heard Michael Cole made a couple of statements towards that, towards like a Bianca statement type of Easter eggs. Now we have to start watching before, and this is the great thing about WWE now lately, and we saw that from when the late Bray Wyatt made his return, the little Easter eggs. They give us those hints on who might return. We saw that now with Punk. We saw, although they could tell you that didn't happen until a week before Survivor Series, I'm going to say nonsense. I think they had this in plan. They always wanted to bring Punk in or tease it, and they put those little hidden messages there. When it got finalized, once he agreed on the behavior clause part of his contract, then it became official. I think they always wanted Punk, but Punk was reluctant or hold off or had his lawyers read the behavior clause and what could be done and all. And he says, am I going to be neutered in the WWE? Maybe I'm not going to be me. But then when he saw some of the flaws and he said, you know what, I could work with this, then it became official. That's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. That's just me opinionating, thinking that I think Punk was always coming. WWE knew he was always coming, but they were waiting for him to sign that behavior clause part of his contract. And he was looking through it, fine combing it, and having attorneys read it, where he could blur the lines where he can and be on board. So he, this is his last shot. This is CM Punk's last shot with any wrestling company. He wants his legacy to be well remembered, not tarnished as a company killer or difficult to work with, difficult for promotions or promoters, for locker rooms. Because nobody wants that negativity in their stigma. People, when you leave, you always want a positive legacy left behind, no matter what, no matter who you are. You want, oh yeah, I remember he did this. It brings smiles. At the end of the day, you always want to get over with your peers, with the fans, and you always want to make money. So I think Punk knows this is his last legacy shot here, and I think he wants to go on top. And I think it's going to work, in my opinion. I think there's going to be good business there. Me personally, I always said it time and time again. When you have a CM Punk, you have to use him like a Brock Lesnar. You have to use him sparingly. You have to use him, right now he's on fire. Let him go in there to SmackDown Raw, declare where he wants to go. If he's going to declare for the Royal Rumble or whatever direction he goes, then you could take him off the TV for a little bit. I know I decided, take him off there. Let him cut some promos. And you air it, Punk this and that. I'm working, I'm training, I'm coming for you, whoever he's. And then boom, you don't need him to give him every week a live mic or have him come out, because what happens? It becomes like furniture. You're used to having that. You buy the new couch. The couch is exciting. Oh, I had a new couch. I can't wait to sit my ass on and watch TV. Then after a while, the couch becomes a regular staple, because the couch is there to sit on when you come home, and it's just the couch now. Now the feet goes up. Now you take a nap. Now the couch becomes a couch and you don't care about it. That's what I don't want them to go Punk. When he comes, make it special. When Brock shows up, when you hear that intro from Brock, everyone goes, ooh, Brock, hot, funny, ooh, wow. I think with Punk, when you hear culture, personality come sparingly, it will intrigue you. Go, ooh, Punk is hot. I think they could do that with some promos and vignettes, not to forget who he is for Punk. It's my opinion. Also, I addressed the rumors with Mercedes. I think Mercedes will be coming back to the WWE. I think it's going to happen at the Rumble. But then it makes WWE top heavy. If I had the creative pencil for Elimination Chamber or coming up after the Rumble and Elimination Chamber, I will make a long tournament. Not points, for the first inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. Winner wins it out at the WrestleMania 40. I will have try not to get former world champion. If you haven't won a title before, make it different. If you never won a WWE world title, you may participate, although you have a Liv. Remember, we haven't even talked about Liv Morgan returning. And personally, or if you don't want to do the tournament, make a night of a champ. Instead of Queen of the Ring, for the first ever Intercontinental Women's Champion, a pay-per-view with a Women's Intercontinental title, personally would be another route to go as well. And I will, you have a lot of women returning. You have Liv Morgan returning from injury. You have a jacked up women's roster in the WWE, as we see, and I'll get to it in a second as well. I forgot to mention the United States tournament that's about to start off with Logan Paul. But I personally, if I had creative pencil or if I had some influence in WWE, I would pitch that idea of the Women's Intercontinental title and why the WWE. And I go, another title in the WWE? I mean, this Intercontinental title could be showcased the way Gunther is showcasing his Intercontinental title on SmackDown and Raw, in NXT too. Let the titles ride on all three brands and even main event. It now becomes special, becomes meaningful. You can have that, there was a women's Intercontinental title on main event, and boom, and or on NXT as well. And you can have NXT women also involved at the higher echelon. So you're telling me a Roxanne Perez taking on let's go with someone in the main roster. Let's say I'm just gonna throw a name out, BFAB. For I know it's like, oh, I don't want to see it, but there's a title behind it because she's getting elevated. Maybe they get that elevation where maybe now they could get into the world title picture if they get over with the crowd. And there's so many ways to build talented women wrestlers, which they are in WWE, but sometimes the crowd don't gravitate to them. There's still that sexist viewership when it comes to wrestling. Yes, I said it. There's a lot of people out of dark match. Sometimes I get guilty of that. I'm not a big fan of here comes Natalia. You know why? It's not nothing against Natalia. I think there's other women wrestlers that could get that spot. I know she's the both, but I want to see other women showcase. And I know if they're going to be there to enhance another talent, why has to be Natalia? Give me something different. That's why I go, Natalia. That's just me explaining myself. But I would like to see all women's pay-per-view, Queen of the Ring, with that. I don't know if they'll do it. If they've done it, we'll do it again. Because now there's a lot of women. If you got Sasha Banks back, and she's going to go right into the storyline that fits with saving Bailey Bacon, with Damage Control. Now you're also, be honest with you, there's like about 5 strong years of the 4 horsewomen in the WWE. After that, these ladies are done. They're going to start retiring, or the bumps and the bruises get to them. They're in their mid-30s, early 30s for some ladies, and another 5 years they're getting close to 40. They want motherhood. Some of them are mothers. Some of them are bumps in traveling just gets so brutal. They want to be there for first day of school, become the soccer mom, all those things that naturally regular women that are not in the business get to do. They want to probably experiment that. And so I personally think the horsewoman has 5 strong years left in WWE, and you have to take advantage of that, and you have to, put this rocket ship and go with it, because you have now women stars coming up like the car deal, like a Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez. You even got some on the main roster right now with Chelsea Green. You have a lot of women in the WWE, and they get showcased well. They get, Raquel Rodriguez. You're telling me I could see her face of the company. She checks the boxes there. Now with some names like Camille and NWA, who says she is no longer part of the NWA business. She is a free agent, a name. She checks the part. She's 6 foot, built. She fits what WWE likes in their models of wrestling. Oh, well, what Vince liked. But you're telling me she stands next to Jade Cargill, who's former NWA champion? That's also, I don't know how much more of the budget WWE has, because we saw about 24 hours ago, Mackenzie Mitchell was let go from an NXT announcer, was let go by the NXT brand on release. I know that was something that was talked in September with the cuts, and a couple more behind the scenes folks were cut by the WWE. Inappropriate time, personally, in December, right before the holidays, and especially with Vic Joseph, your main announcer for the WWE tonight. That's kind of weird the way they chose to do that. But that's business, and I wanted to bring another point, and we're wrapping up soon, was when you start releasing people and then you bring on a big profile like a Punk, people see a little animosity towards the signing, because, they fired my friend or my longtime co-worker to bring you in overpriced, and you come with some baggage. You start looking and you start off on the wrong foot, and that's nothing to do with CM Punk's fault either. But the big corporation companies put you in that kind of situation, because you come in as a high price acquisition, and sometimes your friends or someone else gets the low end of the stick. That's corporation, that's business. But now you can understand. I can kind of see a little bit why some of the AEW talent were a little bit not successfully warm to a Phil Brooks, but when you hear from everyone in AEW, they love Phil. So it's Ricky Starks. You hear Thunder Rosa. You hear so many people say so many positive things about Punk. It makes you wonder. There's a little truth for everything there, and we'll see what happens going forward. But wrestling right now, to close out, I'll get the guys on. We'll try to go through the year of review of 2023. Who is our top wrestler of the year per brand? then for the company, and then we'll have one of our best premium live events, and for NXT as well as WWE, and especially top woman wrestler who we think is going to be a breakout wrestler in 2024 and so forth. So I can't wait to have that year review after Deadline. Of course, we can't wait. Next Saturday we'll be live here, 7 o'clock start. We'll be here for NXT Deadline, the Iron Survivor. I was there last year. I tell you that Iron Survivor last year with Grayson Waller and the Shuey was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal pay-per-view. I like the concept Shawn Michaels did. Now we're going to see it in Bridgeport, Connecticut in a big arena. I can't wait to see what there. And also we want to talk about the United States tournament. The United States tournament that was announced by Logan Paul. You got some good wrestlers in there, man. You got Austin Theory. You've got Grayson Waller. You also have Lashley. You've got a mystery NXT wrestler. Who could it be? Who is going to get called up here to be that Iron Survivor? Not Iron Survivor, but the mystery challenger for the United States champion. Any thoughts? That's my thought. Any thoughts? Everyone thinks immediately maybe Braun Breaker. But then you have a lot of heels. If Braun comes up and gets called, talk about Logan Paul stacking against a lot of heels. So Kevin Owens, you got a lot of heels in this turmoil. I'm looking for an NXT face that we haven't seen in a while. I hope it's not Zion Quinn. I know he's a free agent. I don't think he moves the needle in this tournament in the United States. Is he worthy for United States tournament run to get up the main roster? Corbin is not really an NXT star. That's like an insult. We call him an NXT call-up. It has to be someone that we're not seeing right now. Could it be Ilya Dragunov being called up and making a splash? We're also seeing, I don't think it'll be Tyler Bates. Although Tyler Bates, they're teasing Tyler Bates is coming to Pete Dunne's rescue with Pretty Deadly attacking him backstage. Wouldn't be surprised because we saw recently, I don't know what's going on, another group that they're breaking up with is the Brawling Brutes with Holland and Dunn, where we need more tag teams. Got Pretty Deadly. We need more tag teams. I understand the Brawling Brutes have been more kind of enhancing talent, and maybe it's just so hard to see where they want to go with the Brawling Brutes. Maybe they have run their course. Maybe you put a fresh coat of paint on Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, along with Tyler Bates, and have them go out there. And I think they hit as a tag team. They're so agile and technical wrestling. Maybe that's the route they'll go. Interesting to see on that there. But this tournament, who put in the chat in the video, who do you think is going to be that mystery NXT call-up? Could it be finally Carmelo Hayes going up to Smackdown? Could it be Braun Breaker? I'm trying to think of the former heavyweight champions, NXT champions that could be possibility there. It's too early for Trick. I think Trick has to win the NXT title to be called up. I'm looking at those guys that have been there. I don't see Joe Gacy is off his rocker, so I don't think it's Joe. I'm drawing a blank. Maybe whatever it is for that call up, we're going to be pleasantly surprised. Would it be Axiom? We saw Axiom had a great match with Dragon Lee. I think it could be Axiom. You telling me a match between just a qualifier, a match between Axiom along against Logan Paul. In my goodness. And I wasn't a big fan of A-Kid Axiom, but he has grown. Maybe it's him. It'd be interesting to see there. Let me hear your thoughts. Finally here, let's close it out with the heel of the ring here. We ask you guys to support, watch along, our watch alongs, comment. We will ask you, today was a great day for you guys to come and give me your thoughts and comment in here, not while we're doing the baseball games or the basketball watch alongs or the football. Although it's fun to have you there, but we cannot concentrate on the all wrestling when we're doing basketball talk, because a lot of the basketball audience wants to talk basketball. But we always tell you guys, come along and always put your comments in the wrestling video. That's why we're trying to try to do a wrestling Q&A or review, so we can have all your questions. And of course, on the watch alongs, bring it. We like it. We're here. We always hear every week. AOP, the Authors of Pain, they're signed with the WWE and they have not done nothing. I don't know. I know I mentioned this to Chef Dan, saying that if I was a WWE, the way to bringing back the bloodline back together, have the Altar of Pains, who are Samoans, attack the brothers, and to the point where they have to team up. Oh, we got another threat, threatening the bloodline, and we don't know in the Altar of Pain, but that's for later down the road. They're talking about Bobby Lashley replacing the Street Profits with AOP because it seems it's not working. I don't know. Only time will tell. But we got a lot of build before Royal Rumble. Remember Deadline. We'll have a Monday Night War watch along. Watch along with us. Come on and join us. Grab your snacks. Monday Night Raw is going to be exciting. It's one of the fastest 2 hours because we have fun with Terrence and, of course, Tribal Chief Terrence, and we have Mr. Chef Dan as well as many others that come visit us from time to time. So we ask you guys to join, watch along, and thank you for all the likes. Thank you for those that are watching along with us. Remember, if you ain't down with us, we have 2 words for you. Just subscribe. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out. Again, see you later.